I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
As my grandfather used to say, lies, all lies. None of that's true either. They offer up free plane tickets to illegals to places anywhere in the United States. Catch and release is in full effect. Just promise to appear in court. No consequences if you don't. Have a baby? Well, it's a U.S. citizen. Need health care, even welfare? The Democrats will give illegals that too. It sounds like an infomercial, for crying out loud. And if you're a criminal, well, American cities are defunding the police. What better place to be a crook? It is why crime in America is soaring. And yet, Vice President Kamala Harris goes to Guatemala and Mexico, met, by the way, with signs even I couldn't have written better. Signs that say, go home, Kamala, you're not welcome here, and even Trump won.
And I came here to be here on the ground to speak with the leader of this nation around what we can do in a way that is significant, is tangible, and has real results. And I will continue to be focused on that kind of work as opposed to grand gestures.
What, grand gestures? Grand gestures. You know what's a grand gesture? Her failure to visit the border is actually a grand gesture. It is a slap in the face, an oogats to Americans, right? How about put America first? And if you don't visit Texas or Arizona, how about visit Florida and the family of an 82-year-old woman allegedly raped by this man, 20-year-old illegal Marvin Mendoza, from none other than Guatemala. He came here as the left's prized class of migrants, the famed unaccompanied minor. Before the rape charge, police arrested him 3 other times, once for grand theft, another for battery, and another for exposing himself in a park to children. He served 100 days in jail. When he got out, ICE never picked him up. He should have been deported a long time ago before he could rape an old lady. Instead, he is accused of tying up and raping that 82-year-old woman.
Crimes of this nature tend to be repetitive. They tend to turn into serial offenses. We have every reason to be suspicious that this was not his first time.
But Kamala Harris and Joe Biden aren't concerned about American victims devastated by illegal immigration. And they aren't really concerned about the migrant victims either. This is what Kamala and Joe are responsible for. Take a good look at this, folks. Toddlers literally being dropped over a giant fence. Children separated from their families. The cries for help, I want you to listen to them, remember them, because even though Kamala Harris hasn't been to the border, this is most certainly her crisis.
No, yo vengo porque si no, ¿para dónde me voy a ir? Allí voy a dejar y tal vez me pueden robar, secuestrar o algo.
That, folks, should rip the heart out of everybody. Kids shouldn't go through that. It is nothing short of government-sanctioned abuse. And it all could be solved tomorrow through messaging, through enforcement, and through the re-implementation of the Trump-era policies that had our border more secure than ever before. Well, someone who actually has visited the border joins me now. Republican Congressman of Florida, Byron Donalds, is with us. Congressman, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on.
Congressman, I can't help but think that 82-year-old rape victim, she's in your state. Harris was just in the home country of the accused. Something is wrong with that picture, Congressman.
Something's very wrong. And the thing that's incredibly wrong here is that this administration has no desire whatsoever to secure the southern border. To make it more worse, if your job was just to secure the border and do nothing else, you would do the exact opposite of what this administration is doing. I've been to the border twice. The vice president's never been there. If you talk to Border Patrol agents, they will tell you the #1 way to get control of our border is to reinstate the stay in Mexico policy that Joe Biden just got rid of last week, because the migrants would stay in Mexico and would not come into the United States. But once they took office and unwound all of President Trump's enforcement measures, the coyotes and the cartels knew that our southern border was open for business. The cartels are slated to make about $5 billion this year trafficking children and people into the United States of America. Oh, and by the way, that's their secondary business. The primary business is still moving drugs across our southern border.
Yeah, it sure is. So I'm left asking, what is the motivation now for them not going to the border? I mean, now they've waited this long. It'll be like a Hollywood movie opening, right? Pre-COVID days, if Kamala shows up at the border. It's going to get a lot of attention, which makes me think she's never going to go now.
She's not going, because the second she touches down in McAllen or in Yuma or in El Paso, the national press will be there, and they got to ask the questions. And if they have to ask questions of the president or of the vice president, and they stand there and lie like they're basically doing now when it comes to the border, they're going to have reporters on the ground talking to Border Patrol agents, talking to people in these HHS facilities and the citizens who live down there as well, and the truth will come out. They want to do what Joe Biden said way back in his State of the Union address. They want to just be transparent when they're good and ready, and not before. They don't want anybody talking about this, and the big media is giving them a pass.
Well, I'm going to play a soundbite for you. This just into the Newsmax newsroom. You know, Kamala Harris went to Mexico after Guatemala. The media had the audacity to ask her the questions we're asking on this program. Watch this little clip, Congressman.
Listen, I've been to the border before. I will go again. But when I'm in Guatemala, dealing with root causes, I think we should have a conversation about what's going on in Guatemala.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
So she scolds him and then storms out, Congressman, because they ask about when are you going to go to the border there. And she comes back with that very nervous laugh, which is just bizarre to me. I'll give you the last word.
First of all, she said she puts out the laugh every time she's cornered, and she knows her answer is terrible. Number two, and let me be very clear on this, the reason she's in Guatemala is because in Guatemala, you get to ignore the disastrous enforcement policies that they have put in. You have young kids who are being trafficked, the cartels making billions. There are young women who are not even making it to the United States. They're being put into sex slavery. All this falls at the feet of this administration and what they have done to the southern border. That's why they won't go, because the longer this goes, it's harder for them to answer these questions. And I don't think they're ever going to go. They want to paper this over so we focus on something else they want the media to look at, and they want us to look at.
Well, look, Congressman, I thank you for going down there and putting eyes on it, and I appreciate you raising the issue here on this program about the importance of fixing the problem. So thank you, sir. We'll see you again soon.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.